So there I was, sat in the office, just in there, okay, looking out through the window, and I saw that rose. Isn't that beautiful? It was almost kind of almost fluorescent, you know. It was luminous. It was kind of calling me from the office, despite the fact that we're about to get a thunderstorm here. And as I was looking at this rose and admiring the shape of the open bloom and that perfectly formed bud there, just look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I was reminded that actually when we first moved into this house, 2002, 18 years ago, that rose was planted. Well, it wasn't really planted. It was just about alive in a border that was around about here somewhere. Horrible bit of ground. It was it looked dead basically, and that was in the middle of summer. We moved here in the first week of July, and we were clearing the garden before we could start to redevelop it. And I came across this rose, no flowers on it, hardly any leaves, and the leaves that were there were covered in black spot, and it just looked like it was dead. And I thought, I'm going to give this guy a chance, and at completely the wrong time of the year I cut it right back down hard. I'm not sure if that stump down there, you can see it there, I'm not sure if that was one of the original shoots that were there, but we cut it right back down, no leaves, hardly any stems, brought it from over there and planted it into this ground here. And now here comes the important bit. We put loads of compost inside the hole, a bit of my high potash slow release fertilizer, and we just watered it like mad because it was completely the wrong time of year. And look what's happened. Isn't that amazing? Plants are so resilient, and they kind of repay your kindness in the only way that they know how. So if you're at a position, at a point where you're thinking, oh, I'm going to give up on this plant, maybe you need to hack it back and replant it, give it some fresh soil, some compost, some fertilizer, a bit of TLC, and maybe you'll get your equivalent of this amazing rose. Look at those leaves, there's no black spot, there's no pest on it. It's just perfect. I've got a similar story. Actually, that yucca behind there, you can see with those spiky leaves there, that was the same. That was round by the side of the house where we're going to head in a moment, round there. And it was in the wrong place. It was in deep shade and hardly getting any sun. I dug it up, and I don't think it had any root on it. And we shoved it in there, and we've now got 1, 2, 3, 4 shoots on it. It's like a small tree. It gets flowers in the summer. Again, in the right position, happy as Larry. It was actually residing somewhere around here, which is very shady, so these things like the acer and the ferns and the azaleas and that sarcococca and the hostas down there, they all love it, as does this camellia. Now this camellia, there's another story there. So this camellia looks gorgeous in the spring, don't you, mate? Yeah, you're gorgeous. Anyway, but when I first, oh, did you hear the thunder then? When I first saw this camellia, it was in a skip, in a rubbish skip. It had about 2 or 3 yellow leaves on it. It was it had been a reject in the garden centre where I was working at the time. It wasn't saleable, and so someone quite rightly had kind of had to wastage it, and into the skip it went. And I just happened to go over to the skip to chuck some rubbish in there. And as well as those 3 leaves and a couple of broken stems, it had 1 flower. 1 little flower. Its last kind of grasping plea for for mercy, give me a chance, he was telling me. He opened up that flower just as I was walking past, and I couldn't resist it. So we brought it home. It was only like 6 inches high. Put it in again with loads of the right compost, so the ericaceous compost this time is what camellias need. And look at it now. It's been there for 18 odd years, and in the spring It's covered in these lovely flowers. Let's put a photograph in. There you go. Isn't that fantastic? So the lesson here is that if you're about to give up on a plant, maybe all you need to do is to give it a fresh start.